Spill. Case number 013. Closing Table Confessions.
Hi, I'm Megan Rogers, and I am your co-host at Motion to Spill, and I'm here with the Sarah Young,
All day long.
Oh my goodness.
an attorney in North Carolina. Only North Carolina.
North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina.
Oh, look, she finally got our joke. Tim, we broke her in.
Oh my goodness.
Or we just broke her. I don't know.
Sorry, Sarah. Yes, I'm Sarah Young, also co-host.
You need the Sarah Young.
No, I don't need that. As a matter of fact,
You do.
I love it, Tim.
But
just let me be a stick in the mud, okay?
Sarah, guess what?
What?
I'm super excited because this is our first guest on our podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like to introduce everybody
Oh my gosh.
to
I'm
our
so
very
flattered.
first guest, who's one of my favorite people in the world, one of my best friends in the whole world. We've been through some
A lot of crap.
together.
It's your podcast. You can say it if you want to.
Well, I was waiting for the
We've been through
the dump
some
button.
bullshit. He can bleep it later. It's fine.
He won't though. There you go. Okay.
There might be a lot of that.
Anyway, that's okay. He has a button that does that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ellen Nora.
Am I playing basketball now on that one?
Yeah,
That
you beat
sounds
the
like,
buzzer.
you
No,
When
you're
my
being
kids
subbed
played at
out.
the Y.
That was where that's the sub in, sub out button.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Go back to the bench. Anyway, so Eleonora is a licensed realtor, real
Today.
estate broker in North Carolina, and she has helped families with buying and selling houses, and she helps them celebrate one of the best days of their lives. So
So she can help you upsize, downsize, sideways size. She
Any
can do
size.
all the things.
she can.
And
And I do.
this bomb ass woman has opened her own brokerage.
Yes,
We are
she-
so proud of her.
Yep. So I'm so excited to have her on. So first of all, I wanted to talk about how do we become friends?
Well,
Wait, first of all, introduce yourself. Say hi.
Hi.
I'm Eleonora.
I'm Ellen Nora Deese, and my firm is Ellen Nora & Co. Properties. No stress there that my name's actually on the sign.
It is.
But we met because I don't know that Sarah remembers. Sometimes I have to remind her.
Oh,
when
come
my
on.
husband and I bought our own home, Sarah was the closing attorney.
Back when I was in Thomasville. Yes.
Yes. And
remember.
then I knew where to go when I became a real estate agent. I knew that is who I wanted to go to because we had such a great rapport even that day that was stressful for my husband and I. But
Because that was when she was at Schwishman and Schlickman.
we don't,
Please bleep that out. We're trying to be respectful.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious, Tim. Please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That was when I was in Thomasville. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So when Sarah was working in Thomasville at another firm,
Thank you.
I knew where to go to find her. So when I started doing real estate and bringing my buyers, of course, we can't push anybody on anybody. But why wouldn't you take the advice if you don't have a closing attorney when you work with one every day that is, just doing a great job? And so Sarah was that person to me. And every closing I was doing, I was bringing to Sarah. And then one day in the parking lot, she told me, "Hey, your front tire looks like it's flat." And then she goes, "By the way, I think I'm going to go start my own firm." And I said, "By the way, I think I'm going to follow you."
And she did.
And
I've
I
been
did.
really, really blessed. And our friendship has developed over the years, and it's been a beautiful thing.
It has been a beautiful thing, but the biggest mistake was when Sarah gave me her cell phone number. I told her that day. And it is nice to have it, and to have the friendship because, she's always been there. She's always answered a midnight text if I have an emergency, and not everybody has that luxury. I get that. So I don't try to abuse that power.
Well, thanks. And, the feeling
and then
is
you guys
mutual.
have another cool connection.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Her stepson works for me.
So if you happen to work with our firm and are
right.
listening to this podcast, there's no way, if you've dealt with our firm for any period of time, you haven't talked to the happiest phone answerer, Peyton.
he is such
And you might notice the last names are matching.
Yeah.
They are matching. Yes, my stepson Peyton, which I just really is my son, and he's been blessed to be with you. You know, every day. You know, I know it's a challenge, and it was new. I mean, he graduated from Wake Forest with a degree in
Very smart guy.
psychology and Japanese. So hopefully, you have some Japanese clients that come in,
Absolutely not.
and he can.
But he's my
flex
favorite.
that.
He's my favorite sushi eater because
Yes.
we're always like, Sarah and I are like, this one sounds good.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, yeah. And then we always order
He's
too
always
much.
down.
And he is always down to take it home. And then I never feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. Sushi's expensive. And we're like, it's fine. Peyton will take it home. It's going to get eaten.
Yeah, and he likes that. So
He's-
You,
Super,
you
super
have
smart.
not taken me for sushi.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
you know what?
you know,
I don't know how many
for
times
me-
you're recording on Fridays, but Fridays is family lunch.
it is. We do family lunch on Fridays. And we've had special guests like Ellen Nora, and we've had other people at family lunch, and you are more than welcome. We'll have to set it up.
Have I been at family lunch?
Yeah,
Yes,
you have.
you have
Is it
because
in the
we.
office?
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
in
ordered
the
Thai the day
office.
that you were.
Okay,
Yeah, we just
I
eat.
thought.
Family lunch is just in the conference room, and then we talk about
Okay.
inappropriate things.
Yeah. and-
Okay,
well,
I
last
wasn't
week
love
we
sure
went
it
out.
had a
appropriate
title
things.
that day when I came there. I wasn't sure that was a titled event, but now I
Oh,
know.
it is now. It's
Friday is family lunch.
the staff, they've come to expect it. So
Okay,
we went out
great.
to lunch last Friday because we were celebrating Megan's vacation.
You know,
Really? And then they
Okay,
sent me
Virgin
pictures.
Islands.
And she,
I'm tired
she
of
took
seeing
them
the
to a
pictures.
super fancy
It
restaurant.
wasn't fancy.
They cooked in front of you.
Yeah, we went to one of those cook in front of you places, Japanese places. So
They call those
Megan,
hibachi girls.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is
mean,
that-
don't get me wrong. I
Is
had
that
plenty
I
of
call it
fancy?
the cook in front of you
Is that
place.
fancy
for
now?
for our family lunch. It is fancy because
It is.
typically Sarah sends out a poll Friday morning.
On TV.
These are the places that I'm willing to purchase food from, and I need
then-
you guys to vote. And then
Should you accept a free lunch?
yes,
This was. And it's not, I mean, whenever we go out to lunch, it was a lot of times the little Mexican restaurant around the corner. And I made a huge mistake one day and ordered the largest margarita.
Okay. So are you talking about the one in Thomasville?
No, I'm
one-
talking about the one around the corner
In
from,
Clements.
your
They're
old
not
office.
sponsors,
Pull
so-
that microphone towards you.
They're not sponsors. I
They're not
don't even know
sponsors.
the name of the restaurants that we're
Well, they
saying.
just changed names, if that gives any hints. But yes, they also have a skinny margarita, which takes out all the sugary mix. And it's just like liquor on liquor on liquor. And she was having a rough day. She needed
Yeah.
the fishbowl margarita.
And I was like, I don't know that I
She
need this
needed
fishbowl
it.
margarita. And Sarah's like, it's not that much liquor in it.
Yeah, girl.
You could literally, it tastes like a shot of liquor going down.
Yeah, they
I don't
just
even
skip the
think
mix.
I, finished it at all, and I'm not a drinker, I'm not.
Well, I was driving. It was okay. You got there safely somewhat.
So it hits you hard when you're not doing
As we have already established, I am a very safe driver.
No, Sarah.
right.
Negative.
No, Eleanor, it's her lie. Let her tell it how she wants.
Are you kidding me? I only
Megan.
have had, well, I did have an accident in the parking lot last week, but it was not my fault and I don't want to talk about it.
Look, every time I'm with you, every time you're driving me somewhere, I literally feel like I've been kidnapped. It's a tragedy. It really is. So
is
I'm
tragic.
not making
And-
light of it.
Well,
In
but
case my
before we
husband,
go to the
wait,
next
in
thing.
case
Finding her.
my husband listens, his name is Travis and he absolutely hates it when people use the word travesty instead of tragedy. So it's
Okay.
a travesty.
did I say it incorrectly?
You said tragedy, but I said travesty
Oh, because of his name.
because it bothers him.
because it pisses him
Because it
off.
pisses-
I mean, that's
I like to pick at him, like fish picking the fins off their friends.
Okay. Gosh.
What?
That sounded a little bit.
You're going for sushi. You're going for sushi.
So our next section needs to be a lighthearted roast. Are you up for the challenge, Eleonora?
Oh, gosh.
Wait, I wanted to do a card. We like to do the card.
No,
thing.
we have to do this next section, and
So-
then we can do your cards. No, we can do.
But
the
my
cards
question
next.
is wonderful. It's what's currently happening in your life that makes you feel happy. We're going to skip that.
You can do that in a minute. No, I want to do the
Oh my
lighthearted
gosh.
roast.
Okay.
Now I'm going to be. I have ADD. Okay, so now I'm going to
I
be
don't.
thinking about my answer on that, as well as now I'm going to be roasted.
And you're going to roast Sarah. So,
Yeah, I think that's
wait,
where she
no,
was
listen,
going with that.
listen.
She wants to roast me.
Okay.
That's better.
So, what do we actually think about each other's jobs? What do realtors assume lawyers do? And what do lawyers assume realtors do? So, where do you butt heads on transactions, but also where do you save each other? There we go.
Okay. Do I start?
Absolutely,
Okay, well,
Eleanor.
You're the special guest. You get to go first.
First of all, I just look at Sarah to be a miracle worker a lot of times.
Aw.
And sometimes she's up for that challenge.
You don't have to be nice to me. It's a roast. Be mean.
Sometimes she's up for that challenge, and then sometimes she's like, "Who is this client?" Because she's got a million. So
I wish I had a million.
You know, I have a lot, and I'm not going to roast her like in that sense, really.
Well,
I mean,
we didn't say just specifically, Sarah. You could roast lawyers in general.
Yeah, our attorneys.
Closing attorneys.
Other closing attorneys.
Other closing attorneys, yes, absolutely. I want to roast.
ooh,
Which shall remain nameless.
yeah.
But we have a few in mind.
As long
I
as
can
we
tell.
don't, as long as we don't say their name, it's fine.
Well, you know, look, everybody's job, my job, Sarah's job, Tim's job, your job. I mean, we all have challenges, you know, and I think that the way people handle those challenges, especially with staffing and things like that, it really brings out who you are, right? And, you know, I've done this video about scaling too fast, right? When you scale too fast and you don't have the power behind you to be able to implement that scale, well, something's going to, you know, fall apart. And usually it's customer service. All right. And in my industry, I've noticed that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like people not answering their phone. Okay. Well, you wanted this business. Why aren't you answering your phone? So Sarah always answers her phone. She's always available. And for me, that matters. Right. And if you.
For you, anything.
Oh, God. Here she goes. But, you know, I don't know if I'm, see, I have ADD, so I'll just go off on a whim.
That's why we love to have you on.
But the thing, a lot of times when I'll call Sarah, it's like, I need to make a change in the schedule. Well, we see today, her schedule is, we had to make a change for this. You know, she
Twice.
What did she do? Triple book herself today or something? Megan was gone to the Virgin Islands and she lost her way.
It all fell apart.
She lost her way and triple booked today.
Job
So
security.
that's why we're doing this at 9:30 in the morning, which ended up starting about 10:08. But that's neither here nor there.
That's part of the roast, I assume.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Sarah
I
and
run
I-
with about
Sarah
a 15-minute
time.
buffer.
I
okay?
have to
Anyone
say-
that knows me knows you just add a buffer, okay? Or tell me I have to be somewhere 30 minutes before I'm supposed to be, and then I'll be 15
But
minutes
we're
early.
a lot like that. You know, I'm always pulling in on two wheels. I mean, too. So I already expected that my clients will be there before either one of us sometimes.
Yeah,
And if we're
Eleanor, how
lucky,
many
one of us will
times have
get
you
there.
gotten a phone call from me? Hey, Eleanor, this is Megan. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on the way to High Point.
Right.
But we do have an office in High Point, so
And
we have to travel.
we're running a little late. And
15
then
minutes usually.
And
Right.
then there was that time that you had that unfortunate event with blue lights.
She doesn't seem to care about that.
I had a sense of urgency, okay? I had to get there. I had to see Eleanor. I didn't want to let her down, so... Yes,
So that was when Eleanor got 2 phone calls. I was like, hey,
Well,
Eleanor.
like I said when she called here, and Tim and I were having our own podcast this morning for about an hour.
Well, you are you serious? It was not an
Yeah,
hour. It was all of
waiting
20,
on Sarah
20
and Megan
minutes.
to get here,
20 minutes,
right? And
Megan was putting on her makeup. What can I do?
So my question to
It felt
Sarah
like an
was,
hour.
because a lot of times Sarah will say,
you
"I'll be
missed us
there."
that much.
Sorry, Sarah will say, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." That is not the truth.
Well, just add 10 to it.
Right. So that's
She's
why I asked
leaving in
her,
5
what is
minutes.
the real ETA?
Okay, when I called you, I was already on the way. I was already en route. I had already pulled out of the parking lot.
Okay.
she was
It's like
only.
oh my gosh. Okay. Roasting time. Roasting time. Things are coming to mind.
Burr.
So one day, and Sarah rarely does this, okay? She rarely on a fly will call you up and go, hey, can you meet me for coffee? Like in about 30 minutes? And, you know, for me, I could have a showing or whatever. I was literally going to go pick up my grandson, right? And I was like, something must be going on that she needs to talk about.
No, I just want to see you.
Didn't know that, okay? Because it's
Should have
rare.
prefaced it. It is rare, but I was like, hey,
It's rare that we have a moment to see each other just for personal reasons, you know? But first of all, I told her where we were meeting, and she ended up saying, oh my gosh, I left too late, and now I'm running behind. I'll be there at this time.
Oh, it's still at this place, right? And she's like,
No, you're going to the wrong coffee shop. You know, I don't go there.
Did she also mention how she was like, oh, I have 3 miles to empty?
Yes, that is exactly what happened. Megan, mind reader.
Story of my
She said,
life.
I've got to stop and get gas before I get there too. I'm like, okay.
How
I'm
many
waiting.
miles empty do we currently have?
21.
12.
Oh, okay.
Y'all
I'm
know
dyslexic,
exactly.
okay?
It's
I'm
like
dyslexic.
a Rush album.
Oh my God. So
Nobody gets that. But that's,
Sarah finally gets there, right? And I said, order what you want because I'm paying for you. Sound like you're having a bad day. So I wipe it, you know, here, swipe my card, whatever. We're waiting for our coffee. And at this particular coffee shop, okay, is where like I advertise and everything there, right?
Along with another attorney that advertises.
Yes, that I didn't know about. But anyway.
Her new best friend.
No, not
Actually, her old best friend.
negative.
I don't want to talk about it.
But
It's
we're
making me jealous.
standing there and oh gosh. Tim, I knew it.
She was going to do it.
I was so stressed. I was so stressed at the thought of you having another attorney friend other than me.
She just spilled.
Especially that one.
She just spilled her drink on the table. It was just unacceptable.
This is, oh my gosh.
My mocktail is spilling.
Yeah, her mocktail. You know what? I don't know, but I feel high society with these Dixie cups.
You know what? I contributed those Dixie cups to the cause when we had our mocktail
hey, they
episode.
could have been Walmart brand.
Which,
so,
okay,
hey,
not to flip this, their Publix brand thing. I mean, Schmublix.
Schmuglets.
Schmuglets.
I don't recognize this particular design.
Because it's from Schmublix. They don't have one of those in Thomasville. Anyway.
So we're standing there, back to the coffee adventure. We're standing there, and Sarah goes, oh, man. I had the guy, there's a side room. I said, hey, can you let us in the side room, you know? And he's like, sure. He had to move stuff, whatever. And Sarah goes, oh my gosh, I'm so late to my next appointment right now, which was a mutual friend. Okay. I'm so late to this appointment right now that I literally have 5 minutes with you. We get the coffee. We sit on the little couch. It's like 2 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
And she's out the door.
I am so sorry.
Okay. And I'm like, next time you want to meet with me, first of all, tell me what it's about. Because my husband and I have heart attacks thinking that something's going on when anybody does that to us. Like, so we like automatically assume the worst.
Oh, like, hey, we need to talk. Are you available right now?
I need
Well, I'm sorry. Like, looking back in retrospect, I can see how you would feel that way.
right.
But your feelings were completely invalid.
That's what I figured. Every time. All the time.
By the way, don't ever say that to anybody. That's not
That's
a good
really
conflict
bad
resolution.
thing to say. God, I feel abused.
I know.
You like it. That's why you're friends
Kinda.
with me.
I do
I'm wonderful. I'm a delight to be friends with.
Well, I like bantering with people.
A delight.
So if you can't banter and you can't
Well,
go
I think
back and
we
forth.
bonded over that. Do you
Yeah.
remember? Okay, so my previous life, in my previous firm, the firm was in a bank, a former bank. They bought the building. They converted it to a law firm from a bank. But this bank had double doors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the trap room when someone robs a bank, and where they can push the button and it locks the door. Well, they had it set so that it was just automatically locked and you had to be buzzed in. And so, you remember this?
I think.
We were walking.
might.
I was walking the clients out after we did a closing, and there was a gentleman that was trying to come in. Do you remember this?
I think so. Yes.
And he was trying to figure out, like, there are 4 buttons, like, in the holding area in between the 2 doors. And he was trying to figure out which button he needed to press to, like, buzz himself in.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
see him at the end of the hall, and I'm standing there. I'm like, hey, let's just stand here for a second and see how long it takes him to figure out how to get in.
Yeah, that was so cruel of us.
And it
when
was
you
so
say
cool.
double doors, you mean like a vestibule? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but a
yes.
locking one.
Thank you, Tim,
Okay.
for using the correct
Like a chamber, a holding chamber.
Right. The
term. We
airlock.
just say that
So
area.
I
That's
need to
how
know,
we-
how long did it take for him to figure it out?
Yeah. Do tell.
Well, this firm's amazing, like power. Like if I could hire her today, I would.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she came flying around the corner because she just appears when things need to be done and just does them.
Right.
And
That's
she's like,
not Megan?
she
That
flew
sounds
around.
like something Megan would do.
Well, this person is like, I think she was
This
called.
person had been.
Superwoman, from what I understand.
She is a superwoman, but Megan's an office manager. This person is like the person behind the scenes that makes everything go.
Right. And too much was put on her.
I don't want to get into that right now, but she came flying around the corner and let the person in. I was like, man, I thought that would be fun to watch him struggle.
Yeah.
But I don't always do that. It's just,
Thwarted.
You were
to hear
thwarted.
to hear my,
Such a
I
great
sent
woman.
that
I'm so
wonderful
weird,
woman flowers because of the many jobs that she does and was
she deserves it.
Yeah.
She deserves every bit of it.
she saved a lot of things.
She's
happening.
actually, I believe she had her baby, didn't she? Or is she still, no, the other one did.
the other one.
I was
yeah.
going to say,
Don't
The
say,
one
I did not say anything. I'm
Well,
just saying the other one.
the one I think probably now is at the age that they can't. If you know who I'm talking about.
I
thought
do,
we
but
were
we're talking
the
about
same-
someone else.
Oh, the other one is
I won't,
that
I'm
had
not
a
going to
child.
use any descriptors because it would be very obvious. And-
Right. And I know who you're talking about.
But anyway, the person
But
that we
the
were talking
audience
about.
doesn't know who we're talking
Yeah, well,
about. Which
and that's
this
okay.
is really fun for
Yeah,
y'all.
it's inside jokes. So anyway, yeah, she's expecting. I'm so excited for her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what do lawyers assume realtors do in your opinion? I know I just brought it on back.
I know we went over there. So what do lawyers do?
What do lawyers assume that realtors do? Like what's your like one thing that annoys the you know what out of you about lawyers when they assume that like you do something and that you're like, no, that is not my job.
You know, that's kind of a crazy question because I mean I haven't really had that experience with
Not
you.
with me, but
No.
you've taken your closings elsewhere.
Well, not
I've
by
seen
choice.
the Facebook.
Not by choice. You know, sometimes people get into new constructions and you got to go that way because of the interest rates and that sort of thing. But I think that, well, you know what? Let's just go here. I think that a lot of attorneys will think that all real estate agents are alike. And I call you constantly, right? And check up on my stuff. And I think that, you know, maybe there's other people that don't, you know?
That's accurate.
Okay. And so I think that maybe by me doing that, that sets an example of like maybe in your mind, you think that that's what everybody does, you know? But
Yeah.
I just have a hard time sleeping at night.
Yeah, we are totally spoiled whenever there are certain names that we see when these contracts come in that we're like, oh, good. We know this one's good. And there are others that are cringe. You know, I see their name and I'm like, ah.
Well, and then it goes back to the whole scaling, you know, thing too fast. I mean, a lot of people are pushed off to their transaction coordinator, you know, after the initial contract is accepted.
And you don't for the most part.
No, I mean, I have a transaction coordinator that I just got half the year, and she actually was my mentor, you know, and she has her own firm. And without her saying to me, I think at this point in your life, you need somebody. And she couldn't believe I was doing everything. And then I didn't realize what a great thing it would be to have Rebecca, you know, and I'm just saying her name. Rebecca, she hates plugs.
Well, I mean, if you're not roasting her, I
No,
suppose it's okay.
but I'll tell you, you know, what a transaction coordinator should do is help you with things like when we're in our car all the time and we're riding around. I might have met with a client and a buyer is going, I want this property. I want to put this under contract. Well, if it was just me, I'm either going to have to stop, pull over so that I can try to write that contract real quick. Or I, you know, with Rebecca, I can go on to my next client and call her and say, can you start this process? Can you go ahead and get signatures? Then I'm moving on to that. So it helps me to keep my flow throughout the day. And honestly, this business, when you are with your own self and your own firm. Now, I do have my daughter-in-law that came on with my firm, but it gets a little lonely. I'm an extrovert, so
No way.
No, I know.
What?
It's hard to believe. I mean, but I'll go all day and I'll be talking. And probably why y'all put me on here as the first guest, because you knew that.
No, it's because you're one of my besties.
Okay, good.
That's why.
Good answer. But
You know your shit.
At least-
Please bleep that out.
I know.
Later. You know your shit.
Here's the thing.
And that's it. You are a wealth of knowledge.
That's what she said.
I know we haven't gotten into that, and I don't want the general public to think Eleanor is all fun and games, because I am fun and games, but I'm a very serious person and I take my job very seriously.
And you also really go back to bat for your clients.
You do.
I do.
And honestly,
And I say that because I'm confident that I do, because I wouldn't do it any other way.
if I had first-time home buyers that came to me and said, hey, I need somebody to guide me through this process. I know nothing. I'm scared. Who would you recommend? You're absolutely the first person on the list.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I mean, the thing is...
Being a mom to 4 boys has probably really helped you with...
5.
It was 5.
5 boys.
Oh, that's right. 'cause
3
you
that
have
she
3
birthed.
and
I have
he
3.
has 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We were one shy of what the Brady Bunch.
I know, but you didn't have any girls.
No girls. That's why I got Macy the dog.
Oh.
My everything, my sidekick.
Wait, is she still alive and kicking?
Yes, she is.
That's right.
I had that
Sorry,
neck
wasn't
surgery for
trying to kill her
her.
off. I'm sorry.
I had that neck surgery, honey. She is like running.
Really?
Everything.
It's
yeah.
a new dog.
She is.
Maybe you need to get Amber
When
like
we
a
picked
bionic
her
leg
up-
or something.
When we picked her up from getting her surgery, she was like, "Come on, let's go." I mean, she just walked on out like from that surgery like nothing had ever happened. And so,
But it
shout
gave you
out to
a
Dr. Quigley.
Quigley. Okay.
but it gave you a good now that your boys are all grown to channel that mama bear.
So yeah, I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom.
She has a very good nurturing side, I will say.
I was a stay-at-home mom, and I sacrificed. I have a degree in theater and acting, okay, and a BA in sociology anthropology from Guilford College, which I am promoting Guilford. I loved Guilford, but I was telling Tim this earlier before you guys came here that
The hour before that.
the hour
21 minutes.
we both agreed because he's got a creative outlet with music and such, and even this is a creative outlet, but that the acting part has helped me more than anything. And it's not, and we were talking about this aspect of it. When I say that doesn't mean I'm acting, with my clients. I'm very real with my clients, because here's one thing that people can pick up on is BS.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're not able to, you've got a limited amount of time in that first meeting to show who you are.
Yeah.
And if they don't get a good vibe out of you, if they don't get a good feeling, if they think that you're coming through a house and you automatically know you're standing on a tilt-a-wheel, okay, and the floors are all slanted and you're not saying anything about that, but everybody knows the elephant in the room is that this foundation sucks.
And nobody wants to be at a fun house at the fair.
No.
And then buy it.
Right. And so I'm the first person to say, let's get out of here, and especially my first time home buyers. That's a huge investment. I still know what it was like for my husband and I with 5 boys on a teacher's salary. My husband's a band director, and to be able to afford our house, our small little modest home. And I've never forgotten that. And so whether I'm working, and I know I take people on that some agents would not take on because of that. And I feel like if there's a will, there's a way. And if we can't get there yet with the lender, I've got I am plugging him. I've got an amazing lender partner, Chris Kowalski with Fairway. And he has saved deals like nobody's business. And when you've got a good team like that and you got people that are like-minded, and that's why I surround myself with people like Sarah, Chris, my vendors. If there's somebody that doesn't have any integrity and I can feel that, or somebody that's lying to me, well, then they're going to lie to my clients. And I'm sorry. I mean, my name is on the sign, and I'm not going to recommend anybody that I wouldn't use myself.
Yeah.
And
we've had those experiences, where it's the lender tells you one thing and then the 11th hour, they yank the loan from you.
oh gosh,
They tell you you're pre-qualified, and then the 11th hour, they're like, "Oh wait, just kidding."
Yeah.
Or we're going to close on my end.
we're just kidding.
We're going to get you a package, and then closing is at 2 p.m. At 1 p.m., I still have nothing. The clients then arrive, and you're like,
Oh,
"It's not happening today."
I think you and I had one with my old lender company that I was with. It wasn't my lender partner. He was amazing, but the processing that I literally was on eggshells just every time, not knowing whether something was going to be pulled out at the last minute.
Do you remember the one time I had to order pizza?
Yes.
Because the closing was at like 11.
Right.
12:30, I still had no loan package.
Right.
And 1:30, the client, like one of the clients started to get a little white because they're diabetic and they need to eat. So I ordered pizza.
Right. And the cash to close was wrong.
Yeah.
And
Not on our end, but
my client had to go to the bank and get more money for the closing.
So I sent my legal assistant out to go grab the pizza, and then they went to go get the check, and then we, grabbed some pizza while we were waiting for the lender to get their lives together.
Right.
So
it's embarrassing. That's the thing. When somebody you trust that you have, referred isn't holding their end up their end of the bargain. And that's the thing. You talk about pre-approvals. Anybody will give you a pre-approval out there because they haven't asked the questions. If they're just seeing, they'll look sometimes just at the credit score. Okay, you made it there, but they don't ask you, and I always tell people, especially at one bank, don't do it online. They're not going to ask you any questions. They don't know that you are some of the things that I've had, like that you're a photographer and that you make $130,000 a year, but you don't claim that on your taxes.
You claim 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And therefore you think you can afford this $500,000 house. But in actuality, you don't have any proof that you're making this money, And what I know with like Chris,
I see that a lot,
is he is seeing everything. He's asking the questions. And I know that there is never anything that's going to pop up because I'm asking questions when I'm talking to my buyers. I will give him information like that. Did you check this? Whatever. We don't want people to lose money.
Right.
And for some of my clients, Sarah, $1,500 due diligence, if they lose that can set them back months from going back out and looking.
Yeah. And
they don't have the money. They don't have the money to waste. So that's a lot of pressure for me.
One thing I really appreciate about you versus other realtors is that you will help anybody. You will help Mr. D buy his, 65-acre farm. You'll also help him buy a $2 million lake house. But you're going to help
Mr. D. I got it now.
But you're going to also help the clients that are first-time home buyers, and one's a teacher, one's, a laborer, and they don't really have much, and they're looking for their starter home.
Well,
here's capped at like $150,000. Like you help everybody like in between too. So I really appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you. And if you're in this business and you're not feeling that way, maybe you should get out.
I agree.
Because
some people will say I only do luxury homes that are over $1 million. Well,
you didn't start out that way.
Yeah.
You didn't start out that way. And, more than likely they didn't, unless, they had money to begin with, they didn't start out that way in the home.
Right.
And it's the biggest investment for these people that they're making.
Yeah, it's the biggest investment of your life. It is a scary thing, especially if it's your first time. So, we really like to walk people through the documents. I always ask people, is this your first time? If I see if it's an FHA loan, which is a first-time home buyer's loan.
Right.
I take extra care to make sure I explain things a little closer, because if it's your first time going through it, it can be a scary, daunting process.
Well, buyers have we're dealing with the language out every day. I'm not the first person to say this, okay? But it's true.
Yeah.
We're dealing, even me, I have to remind myself, look, they don't know what this is. They don't know, this term I'm using. So I have to stop and explain, and sometimes they themselves feel insecure asking because they don't want to look like they're asking a stupid question or whatnot.
Yeah. So,
one of the things that I really appreciate about you, Eleonora, because
Tell me,
Megan's
Megan.
still here. Did you know she's still here? She's
Gosh,
so quiet.
I am.
We were starting out roasting, and now we're just
No, we're just talking.
No.
It's all
No.
love and
It's
fluff.
love.
We didn't
It
even
is.
get into so Eleonora. Sorry, go ahead, Megan.
Can Megan say the compliment? Thank you, Sarah.
Are we still roasting? Okay, go ahead, Megan.
Oh,
I
the
apologize.
roasting is coming, but it's not you; it's other realtors. So, while I know about real estate transactions, I don't work in that part of the firm. I oversee it, but I don't work in it. It's not my love.
Don't let her downplay her level of knowledge. She was a licensed realtor at one time.
I was.
Really?
She passed the exam. She did it.
I did it.
She decided it was not for her, but she
I would
does
have never
know.
let that go.
She knows way.
I did.
Paying that 20 something.
I just want you to know that I let it go in 2020.
Jeez.
The wrong time to let it go.
You
Think
let it
about
go
the
wrong.
state of the world
Gosh,
and what
Sarah,
happened.
Did you know her then?
No.
That's
No.
right. You didn't know her.
But I
She
deal
wouldn't have
with
listened
it
to me anyway.
on the backside, or I listen to my paralegal and legal assistant be like, I need to vent for a minute. This realtor is making my head explode.
Right.
And that kind of thing. But the question that I hear the most, can I get my check? Can I get my check?
That's an ongoing
Yeah.
joke in our
And
office.
I'll be like, okay, so you know how this works. It hasn't recorded yet.
In fact, the client hasn't signed yet. I got one of those, where there's like a payday loan company that these
For
realtors
realtors.
use for like
Really?
advancement of commissions. I got
And they
one of
hadn't
those
made
recently.
it through due diligence.
Yeah, and
What?
they're wanting me to advance their commission
I've
through
never
this
heard
payday
of this.
loan company. I'm like, no,
What is this, a firm for realtor?
it's not a firm. It's a company. It is literally a payday loans for realtors where they contact me, even though I have no authorization and I don't provide any information because that's between me and my client. And, I'm not providing any information of my clients to confirm or deny whether or not a closing is going to happen because deals fall through.
Oh my gosh.
And so can you imagine? So I say, yes, this closing is happening next week. Then this payday loan company advances commission. Closing falls through. Who do you think they're coming after?
Yeah.
That would be me. So, but anyway,
I didn't
when
even
they
know there was such a thing.
when they start asking for their check before closing has even occurred, that's a flag.
Yeah. I mean, I just have you wire mine most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
she
we all
just
need to get
knows-
paid. It's not that
No,
the real
we
estate
definitely get
agents
paid.
don't deserve their money.
Oh,
it's just the
absolutely.
fact that literally they step out of the room.
Right.
They're schmoozing their client, and the second they step out of the room, they're
Client
coming over to
leaves,
me,
walks out the door.
and they're like, "So, can I get my check?"
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, well, maybe we need to send this back to the lender
Right.
and get
it's gotta be
funding
recorded.
authorization, and
it's
then
also
be able
gotta
to
be recorded.
record.
There's a process.
There-
Nobody's
there are
getting any money
rules.
until that happens.
And they're like, oh, well, they just not, can I get my check? No, you cannot. Just wait a minute.
Here's the
But
thing
we have
that,
to follow the process because I'm not losing my law license because you want to get your check before you're supposed to. And usually it's a matter of hours.
right.
Like you can come back 2 hours later and you're good.
I mean,
But-
I love getting paid. I'm not going to lie.
Me
Okay?
too.
I mean, some of these transactions, I mean, I've been told you do more than most people do. Why are you doing that? Well, some of my clients need more help than others. And who is going to do that? Who knows what to do to get it done? Yeah, I'll help people box their stuff up. You got mobility issues? What? I mean, you live by yourself?
I will never forget.
All I can think about is the water heater situation.
Oh.
That you had to save that deal.
Okay.
Which one?
I forgot about that.
Yep. I remember sitting in on that
So,
closing and
that-
it was going to fall through and Eleonora out of her own pocket paid for the water heater. So it
did.
didn't fall through.
Yeah, when you
$1,500 water.
Certain government-backed loans, there are requirements that certain things be fixed, and then they have to come out and re-inspect. And if those things are not fixed, if the seller does not agree to fix them, and the buyer can't afford to fix them, it's not happening.
Well, and the thing is that it was a conventional loan, and
Oh,
you
I remember
rarely
that one.
see a condition
Yeah.
on a conventional loan. but it was one of the, I think, 3 dual agencies that I did. And the appraiser knows me, okay, not well, but he knows of me because of, appraising my stuff. And he noticed it was dual agency. And he said that he was doing this to save me from any kind of legal actions because that hot water heater was so bad. Okay. We hadn't even gone through the due diligence period yet altogether, right? But he made it a condition on a conventional loan. It happens, but not a lot. Usually you see it on FHA.
I mean, what's wrong with
VA.
cold showers?
Right. Well, and it was assuming that I didn't want the best for the people. And in a dual agency, you got to be very careful to be fair to both sides. You're not giving advice that's going to make one side have more of an advantage than the other.
Are you wearing my shoes?
Yeah, she probably is.
Yes, I am.
Stole my shoes. Sorry, I just saw that.
Okay. But
Call me out on the air like that.
Squirrel.
But the thing was that it used to be this one particular bank that we could have that be paid at closing. Mm-hmm. Well, they changed their rule and they said this condition needs to be met before we close this. And nobody had any money. My sellers didn't have any money. They had all their money wrapped up into the next place they were going. And the buyer sure wasn't going to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? I paid for the hot water heater. I didn't get reimbursed for it or whatever, because if you don't, the deal goes through. And then I don't get paid at all, right?
Well, on top
and
of that,
nobody
your
gets
clients
everything.
are then out.
Right.
The time, money, energy they've spent.
And that's
into
the
this
thing.
house.
I mean, it's like, what? And I had to explain to him, this is kind of rare this happened. And then I did tell that appraiser because he ended up on another house of mine that I was dual agency on. I mean, it just happened. I rarely do them, but it just so happened the circumstances kind of made it easier for the client.
And explain what a dual agency is.
I was getting ready to ask.
Oh, that's something people don't often, talk about. But, we're supposed to be explaining agency in the North Carolina Commission. We have brochures.
But what is it? What's a dual agency versus
So there's
regular?
different types of agency. So exclusive buyer agency is where my fiduciary duty is only to that client. When you get into dual agency, it could be that I have a buyer and a seller, right? And it's with the firm. Your agency is with the firm, not the individual, okay? So dual agency could be that it's my listing, right? And I'm representing the seller, and I have a buyer who goes, hey, Ellen, I love that house. Can you show it to us? Well, guess what? I have to have permission from both the seller and the buyer to act as a dual agent, okay? Right. Now say my daughter-in-law had a listing and I had a buyer. Well, that too would be dual agent because it's the same firm. There's something called designated, dual agency, where one person in your firm is designated to handle the buyer and one person is able to handle the seller. Still the same firm, but hopefully you're not, talking about your clients around,
the water cooler.
The water cooler.
Water cooler, as Megan
Right.
says.
So you want to have exclusive buyer agent. That's the best type of agency. And I've turned down being a dual agent before. I've been like, listen, my sellers are going to need all the help with this that they can get. So you need to find another. I mean, I've shown a home. They've called my number off the sign. I've had permission to show the home as a dual agent. I've talked to the buyer before they came. And then, I figured out when I was at the property, there was an issue when I was there. And I was like, knowing my clients, they're going to need all the help.
Are you predominantly one direction or the other, or do you care?
I don't care. I don't care. And I told Tim this earlier, though. I love working with buyers. There's so many agents, they say that you're not going to make it in this business unless you become a listing agent, right? The more listings you have, then because you're driving around, right? Mm-hmm. You're driving around. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was, also, I taught with special needs kids and stuff. And I mean, I was in buildings or my home a lot. I enjoy getting out in my car. I enjoy riding all over. and I've learned a lot more about areas of North Carolina doing that, but I enjoy working with buyers a lot. And most agents, if they have big firms and they're getting leads coming in, they'll take the sell side and they'll give the buyer
easier.
side to other people.
It seems to me, I mean, I am not a realtor. I don't really know, but it seems to me like it's easier to be on the seller side as a realtor.
Look, there's liability on both sides. Okay. And what I've learned, if anything, is that term, what a prudent agent would do, is a very gray area.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is a very gray area, because what I'm willing to do and what another agent's willing to do is two different things sometimes. But what then the commission says you should have done when there's a problem, they don't expect you right now. You could say it freely. Oh, we don't expect you to go in the attic or in the crawl space until there's a problem in the attic or the crawl space.
And then why didn't you do that?
A prudent agent should have known that there had been this issue. Okay. So there are times I will, like, if I could fit in the crawl space, I saw one the other day. I was like, dude, I can't.
No, crawl space is a hard no for me because snakes, raccoons, critters. No.
If you're not at least as an agent opening the crawl space door and looking in to see if visibly you can see any standing
see what
water,
pops out. No,
there's an issue.
I mean, that is where
I hate
I am
camel
perfectly
crickets.
happy. No, you didn't. You didn't go there.
I hate camel crickets.
And they can't do anything to you.
But they jump
away
from you and then jump back at you.
And then they make noise.
Yeah.
They can go
Hell
weeks
no.
without water.
Yeah, they're like cockroaches. They can survive a Holocaust. Nuclear Holocaust. Anyway, yeah, that's a hard pass. I am very comfortable to just do my thing in my office or come to you for a mobile closing. But anyway, I have a question for you.
Okay.
And we have about 5 minutes left or less.
Really?
We've kind of gone on for a while.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. What's the stuff that clients should ask but they never do? So like a buyer, what are the questions that a buyer should be asking? Going into a closing or going into a house.
Can I tell one of my stories?
If you de-identify,
if I do it I'm gonna have to. It's a really long story, but I'm gonna really.
Okay, well we don't have time.
We have 5 minutes and
or less.
My stories could go everywhere, but I think it's really important that when on some lenders pre-approvals, it doesn't say whether it's contingent or not on the sale of your house.
Explain what that means.
Contingent means that somebody has something, that they've got to do to be pre-approved. Okay.
Otherwise, no deal.
No deal. So either they've got to sell their home, is contingent on you selling your home. Sometimes it's contingent on you paying off debt, to be able to be pre-approved. And the lender tells you that directly, right? But sometimes on certain pre-approval letters that I receive, it doesn't say it. Well, this one said bank, I have different locations that I know the people. And if they saw a contract come that was not what the pre-approval was, and say it was contingent on selling your house, and if I had a non-contingent offer, they'd pick up the phone and tell you. So I had this one client that finally found the dream home, and I was at the beach, and my daughter-in-law showed the property, and she got me on the phone and was like, hey, he's here, with his wife. They want this property. And I said, okay, put me on speaker. I was like, what did the lender say? Did the lender say, because I need you to send me that pre-approval letter, did the lender say that you need to sell your house? You can't really sometimes use the word contingent, okay? Do you need to sell your house to be able to buy this house? No. You don't have to sell, again, you don't have to sell your house to buy this house. No. I think I even said it 3 times. Emily was standing there and I said, did he say no? And she goes, yes. He said no. I said, I thought I heard no. Okay. So we put in, and this guy, I'm really conservative on due diligence. But he wanted this house so bad that he wanted to put $10,000 down. Ooh. Okay. Now, in some areas, and when interest rates were low and all this thing,
Yeah, it was
people were
more common.
doing
crazy.
crazy stuff, but in my neck of the woods, you don't have to put 10K down, okay, to get your offer. But he said, I want to do that. And he explained, you're going to lose this if for some reason we have to walk away or we find something, in the inspection you can't live with or we can't get the seller to fix.
Right.
I'm doing it. We get under contract. I'm getting a message from the listing agent that the appraiser hasn't been there yet. Where's the appraiser? I call the bank, and I finally get the lady on the phone, the lender, and she said, oh, well, I said, did he not pay for the appraisal or not? No, his contingent on the sale of his home. What? What?
He had just said that he wasn't.
And he just said he wasn't. I call this guy up. Okay, this guy is an engineer. Okay? I call this guy up and I said, excuse me, when I asked you, did you need to sell your home to purchase this house? You said no, not only once, but twice. Well, I thought because I had my friends said they were going to buy my house that
So he lied.
that I had that part taken care of. I said, dude, that's still contingent.
Yeah.
Whether your friend was going to buy it, whether a complete stranger was going to buy it. So here I had to work a miracle because I knew if I called that listing agent, they could walk away.
Yeah.
Right there. That contract's nil, it's voided. And so Chris again came to the rescue and made that deal happen. And we closed on the same day. But luckily the sellers gave us some grace, and
So bottom line,
we didn't lose 10K.
hire a professional.
Well, bottom
trust.
line is something I took away from that. Trust, but verify.
Right, of course.
Immediately.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Eleanor, for joining us. I hope to have you back again.
Okay.
And we'll do more of a deep dive.
Well, I really did enjoy it. And, this whole aspect of things is really nice to see. I think you guys have been doing a great job.
So one final question. How many podcast episodes have you actually listened to?
I've listened to 2.
Which
but then
ones?
sometimes I get, the very first one.
Oh, that one.
That
There,
was-
there are betters.
Well, then
There are better
then a lot
episodes.
to do with estate planning, and the ones of that I find, very timely for me and my husband.
Well, listen to the more subsequent episodes. I think you'll like them a lot. But thanks so much for being on, and we hope to have you again.
Well,
soon.
thanks for having me, you guys, as your first guest.
Yay!
Hope I didn't disappoint.
You did not.
Thanks so much. And this has been Motion to Spill with Sarah Young, Megan Rogers, and Ellen Nora Deese of Ellen Nora
And Co.
and Co.
Properties.
Properties.
And
Out
then
of
our
Thomasville,
favorite
North Carolina.
producer, Tim Beeman.
Yay!
Yay, Tim.
See you next time. Quick reminder, while I am a lawyer, I may not be your lawyer. This podcast is designed to educate and entertain, not to provide legal advice for your personal situation. Every legal issue is unique, and good legal advice requires knowing all the specifics of your case, which I don't have from a podcast. If you need legal help with a legal matter, please consult with a qualified attorney in your jurisdiction who can give you personalized guidance. Thanks for listening, and remember, no attorney-client relationship is created by tuning in.
This is Motion to Spill. All rights are reserved. So this podcast is ours, not yours. We made it, we own it, and we copyrighted it. So don't steal our stuff, don't copy it, share it commercially, or don't try to pass it off as your own genius. If you want to use our content for something, just ask us, like a normal person. We might say yes, and we might say no, but at least you won't be breaking the law. Seriously though, unauthorized use of this content can get you in legal trouble, and no one wants that kind of drama. And I mean, come on, she's an attorney. Don't mess with her.